In this video, I'm going to prove to you that witchcraft is real. Follow along.
Way that I know specifically that it is not just satanic panic and they're actually practicing witchcraft is because I myself served in the military as a witch. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Some of you guys asked some of the absolute best questions in the comments, but it would take so much time to try to explain every single one of them because there's so many individual pieces to this puzzle. So your question saying that how do we know the allegations aren't just satanic panic and that they're not going to use it to criminalize outside organizations or religions or practices is a difficult one because a lot of the allegations are straight coming from satanic panic. Not everybody who's throwing these things out there does know exactly what they're talking about. Even people that are just saying the government is doing witchcraft, they might have an idea of witchcraft in their head that is just an archetype of witchcraft. They might have an idea of witchcraft in their head that it is evil, and because the government is evil, they must be doing witchcraft. And I hate to have to say that that's true, but that's absolutely, some people think about things so black and white and they're not able to actually have the higher perspective that it really does take to be.
Okay, so that video is like 7 minutes long. I'm not really going to get into the whole entire video, but basically, she was in the military and she did witchcraft. So, um, the Hebrew Israelites were taken down. You probably wonder, like, how did any military take down the Hebrew Israelites? It's because they were using witchcraft. They would literally use mind control. You know, they'll send witches and warlocks to the front lines to cause chaos within the Hebrew Israelite camps. Now, at first, you have to understand, because we were so spiritual, they weren't able to actually get to us unless they made us fall. So they had to create a scenario to where we fell from grace with God, and then they can do the witchcraft, because the witchcraft only works if you're not obedient. Like, they really can control your mind and make you do things like, you know, friendly fire, blow up your own city or whatever, turn against your own people. So, or get hooked on alcohol and drugs, and that was how they was able to take down the Hebrew Israelites at that particular time period using witchcraft. So I wanted to show you this one video. See what you think about this. Right here, I got, you know, a bunch of videos, but I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to show you little clips here and there. Show you this one. Continue those investigations, and you bet we have ongoing criminal investigations on both those fronts. Because the guy who launched Russiagate, me as a senior staffer back in House Intel, is now the director of the FBI, and I'm not going to end this mission without destroying and leveling the full weaponization that occurred before I got here. Finally, I know you got to go, but are you hopeful about the future of the FBI, given that institutional resistance and given the fact that there are obviously still deep state actors working against you? Are you hopeful? Sure. I'm more than hopeful. What I don't listen to is the swamp, and you know that better than anybody. What I do listen to is when I travel across the country, and the communities of men and women around the country are coming up to us, not just the FBI employees, but the community saying, we have never felt safer, we appreciate the work you're doing, especially safeguarding our children and our youth and our national security, and putting violent offenders in prison where they belong. I listen to the voices of Americans across the country, so does this administration. What I do not listen to and never will listen to is the witchcraft that goes on in Washington, D.C., because that's what they have left, and they're going to sell their pamphlets and try to raise money off. Okay, so let's move on. He's talking about the witchcraft in Washington, D.C. I've been explaining this in so many videos that this goes on. Let's look at this.
Let's see what's going on here.
You see, down here in Louisiana, folks think witches are, them old ladies in the woods with candles and bad attitudes. But nah, the real witches, the real ones, the rich folks hire, they sit in boardrooms, not islands, okay? See those elite types, the politicians, the billionaires, the power brokers, they don't get their hands dirty. They hire people who know how to move energy, people who understand timing, symbols, influence, curses, blessings, all that behind the scenes work. They call them consultants these days, or advisors. But what they really are modern day witches. Because people pick the dates for big announcements, they run rituals disguised as ceremonies, they set the symbols, the colors, the numbers, and the public don't even catch it. The elites ain't staring no cauldrons, they stare at narratives, and the witches they hire, they're the ones whispering. Drop it tonight. Don't say that tomorrow. Move this before the moon shifts. And bro,
All right, I'll be giving my opinion on all of this. I just want to get through a couple more, and then I'll be able to explain a couple things here. Let me see if I can show you guys a picture. Okay, look at this picture right here. This is the first responders. Police officers. They're in the Freemasonic Lodge. Now, I said in multiple videos that the Freemasonic lodges are witchcraft lodges. It is what it is. And you have your police officers over here doing it. You want a better view? Check this out. Now, it's always been like that. It's always been like that. Like that six-pointed star, that's all witchcraft. The police department was started as a witchcraft organization that was sent out to hunt slaves. Look at this. Look at this. Virginia State Police. Where do you think that slavery really was most predominant? Like, come on. Let's look at this Erykah Badu situation here.
And welcome to the Badudio bedroom.
Ooh, that's spicy. So urban legend has it that you cannot look Erykah Badu in the eyes and not fall madly in love. But is the Badu box really a thing? Does Erykah have real mystical powers? Is it a curse or a blessing? Stick around to find out all the spooky details. Okay, so for a very, very long time, followers have been convinced that Erykah is some sort of magical creature, and it has nothing to do with her soulful vocals. And her voice is beautiful, by the way. But
all right, she's a damn witch. The video is like 9 minutes long, and I'm not playing the whole damn thing. I'm gonna sum it all up. She's a witch. She practices witchcraft, and she puts the voodoo on negroes that want to date her. That's just what it is. We're gonna move on. I'm not gonna go through all the videos. Look at this. Like, I don't even know who this. Oh, let's see what this is right here.
Welcome to Mystery History. Waking up from deception.
They're, fat legs, whatever. She's just kind of a dumpy. That's why they have such strong faith.
Okay. Video's way too long. They're pretty much saying that Jennifer Aniston is really a tranny. Y'all gotta go do y'all research on that. What else we got here? Let's see what's going on over here. The police, the Freemasons, the police. So, whenever they need to like fake an event, a false flag event, like a school shooting or whatever, when I say that the police are in on it, and the paramedics are in on it, and the school teachers are in on it. First of all, most of the school teachers are witches. the principalities and all that, they're witches. They all agree to cover this stuff up and to make up. They all like sacrifice animals and small children, and then they go out into these positions of power, mostly in the government, but also entities that are attached to the government, like, you know, the military or the police department, and then they become first responders also. And they go through with this false flag, they put it on the news. All of the news stations are taken over by the Freemasonic lodges, and then they put that on the news, and then they manipulate, which is witchcraft. Manipulation is witchcraft. They manipulate the majority of the lost world. So police, your Freemasons, you practice witchcraft. They know what they do. A lot of these first responders don't even believe in God. Let's see what this guy has to say about the situation.
The Army and Fort made the big question is, how can we get more psychic intelligence officers? And today we still don't have. In fact, the folks down in Brazil are asking that same question. We have psychologists looking at every sort of personality factor.
Oh, here's one right here.
Yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes. It is used for a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood, I need to drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul, let me bleed on you. It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened many times.
I mean, how much, first of all, she a tranny too. But how many times do I got it? And who is that, Megan Fox? How many times do I have to tell you that these celebrities are heavily involved in witchcraft? What does this guy got to say about something? Let's see, your favorite rapper. Your favorite rapper is part of the Freemasonic Lodge, the Blue Bloods. Here's your favorite rapper right there, Jay-Z. And his wife is a damn witch or warlock her damn self.
Actually, you will. You will get. Because I now have a clone. And that clone does all of my music. And then I, have another clone for acting. I'm not going to tell you if it's me or not. I don't know what the name is.
They're making music right now, right?
Yeah, they're in the studio right now. And I just feel so humbled and just super, super blessed to be able to be doing anything, and doing something like this. Yes.
Now that video really don't have anything to do with witchcraft, but what she's saying is that she has multiple clones out there. And what they do is they clone a person's DNA, they full-size body clone somebody, and then they put demons inside these clones or RFID chips inside the clones. They become, when a celebrity has some kind of influence upon the lost society, and they can make money for the elites, what they do is they take the clone and put them in multiple areas to make money and generate revenue. So one's on a radio station making money, one's making a movie, one's on a TV show, one is making guest appearance, one is doing a concert. You got all these ways of making money. So the elites get paid off of that, the imaging or whatever. While the original clone would probably be somewhere on the beach sitting back relaxing while all the clones go out there and do the work. So like this cloning stuff is real. I need to do a video on cloning to break it down, how clones are made and different things like that, so you can go over the science. Let's see what this fool got to say.
Well, of course, if you want to wait and see if a side effect shows up, that takes 2 years. So.
Oh, okay. So we all know that this asshole was involved with the Yamin. So the thing is that he said it takes 2 years for the side effects to show up. So whenever you get the Yamin, you sitting up there talking about, well, I don't feel anything, you know, side. Well, first of all, some people are strong enough than other people, but people be dying off of that stuff. They're poisoning the population because they need to depopulate certain areas of the world. And y'all taking this thinking that, you know, it's okay. These people are Satanists and witches and warlocks. And yes, the Lord sent me to put out this message because I'm not afraid of any of these bastards. And they know I'm not bluffing. The witches and warlocks watch these videos. They know I'm not lying. They can do the whole CIA situation where they can test the brain scans and the brain waves, facial expressions, body language, and they can see if somebody's scared or not. I'm not scared of any one of you bastards.
High-level wizard exposes why one of the most potent hacks won't work if you are not in sin.
And you sell Lamborghinis, Porsches, Rolls Royce, Mercedes.
First of all, I don't need him to explain this. I'll explain it to y'all. When you're following God and you're doing the right thing, the demons leave your presence, leave your aura. Like, just imagine everybody has a bubble around them. And if you're living in sin, these demons can penetrate your bubble. But if you're not living in sin, you're praying, you're fasting, those demons have to stay outside of that bubble. So when a witch or a warlock tries to put a curse, a hex, a spell, dark magic, black magic, voodoo, whatever, Santeria, when they try to do that, if you repel, you got to say a prayer to have those prayers backfire and hit them. And that's how these witches and warlocks lose. So, stay prayed up, stay fasted, and then their little curses and spells, the demons and all that, cannot penetrate. Because that's all it is that when they send like a curse at you, like let's say they send like a clumsy curse at you, a demon will enter your body and cause you to have a jerk reaction and knock things over. If you're schizophrenic or if you have Tourette syndrome, all that, that's all a demonic behavior. Yeah, she's a tranny. That's what it is. All right. I think this is about the firmament. Let's look at this first, and we'll come back.
Man, you ladies look so fine. Time will stand still just to check you out.
You look so fine. I'm gonna forget you used that line when we met.
So, Zelda, what brought you out to California?
When I quit my job, my boss had it in for me because I'm a witch.
Well, speaking as a doctor, lay off the caffeine during PMS.
Okay, so in that episode, pretty much he says that she's a witch, and in Carlton, I know his name is not Carlton in that show, but he's pretty much like, he doesn't believe that she's a witch, but she is. But just the fact that they actually put that crap in films, like they really are involved with witchcraft. Like all of Hollywood is witchcraft. Like you're not gonna, every aspect of it is witchcraft. Yeah, they might have like one or two people that are talented that end up in that particular environment that don't know what's going on, and they don't realize that they're surrounded by witches and warlocks, pedophiles and all that, murderers, all that, Satanists. See, the funny part is, this is the funny part. There's a lot of people that expose this. Back when YouTube was a lot more, when YouTube was less sensitive, pretty much, there were people that like Young Pharaoh, for instance, like he would expose this kind of stuff, like Hillary Clinton and different stuff like that. And then like they like kidnapped him and they mind controlled him or whatever. But y'all can't do that to me, because just like I said earlier, I'm well protected and y'all gonna lose. So y'all know to stay away from me. Y'all can keep hitting me with the witchcraft all you want. It's gonna backfire. Y'all know it's backfire. I know it is. I know y'all suffering from sending curses and spells at me, and it returns to y'all and y'all lives get ripped apart. See, one thing you have to understand is, if you know somebody that was in the military, most likely they was a witch. It doesn't matter. Now, some people, when they left, like for instance, like Vietnam, a lot of soldiers didn't even understand what they was even fighting for. But there was a lot of witchcraft involved with Vietnam. There was witchcraft and all kinds of wickedness going on, and they came back messed up. They was being mind controlled over there in the Vietnam War. A lot of the Vietnamese was practicing witchcraft on the U.S. soldiers. And they came back like not even realizing what happened. They probably was fighting against each other, didn't even know it. And then once they got far away from the particular atmosphere of the witchcraft, they came back home and they were just like, wow, it was crazy. But anyway, if you know somebody that was in the military, they be mind controlling the military. They'll take them, RFID chip them. They definitely implant devices inside their body to use them as MK Ultra mind control slaves to fight their wars. Also, they definitely hit them with the shots and all that too. But a lot of the people that was in the military, which is in warlock, a lot. I don't care if your uncle did not practice witchcraft in the military. I'm talking about like 80% of the people that are in the military are being mind controlled, MK Ultra, mind controlled. And then you have another percentage of people that are actual witches. I showed you at the beginning of the video the female saying that she was in the military and she was a witch. Listen to her say it.
Way that I know specifically that it is not just satanic panic and they're actually practicing witchcraft is because I myself served in the military as a witch. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Some of you guys asked some of the absolute.
Like, I don't know how else to put that either. Don't think I'm not aware of you. I know what you're doing. You think because I keep quiet that I don't know who's a witch and a warlock around me? I know who y'all be meeting up with behind the Wendy's and different stuff like that. What else we got here? Oh, listen to this. If this is not clear, I gotta find another video to prove it. I'm gonna explain it.
Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And the light is shining through like never before, filling us all with the hope and the sure knowledge that the path will be a little easier next time.
Okay, so that's Hillary Clinton basically talking about, like, y'all think that she's talking about we crack, like giving a metaphor or something like that. But they're talking about cracking the firmament. God placed everybody, including the devil, fallen angels, and inside of the firmament here on this earth. And there's Satanists, high-level Satanists that are trying to crack the firmament. That's what she's talking about.
I kind of want to start a series on things that my battle buddies get me during the field cycles or like when we're at work or whatever, just because I do witchcraft. Some of my favorite ones are definitely when they like give me their matches like out of their MREs. Like I literally have like because we don't use them in the field, but what I do is I take my scissors and we'll cut them, put up their little package. This is mostly just for the aesthetic part of it, but whatever. And I put them inside this tiny little ceramic pumpkin, and I use them to light candles and stuff sometimes. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. And I love all the different colors. There's like video and like big parts because I love it. It's great. I almost forgot to show the cactus. I got a couple cactus from the field. They say not to mess with the wildlife, but
Anyway, I don't got no comment for her. Like, she's smiling and laughing like it's okay to Here's another one on your favorite almost president.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
So you got to be awake and you got to pay attention to this type of stuff. I can show you a video of Joe Biden. I got this video of Joe Biden. I got to find it. Here, I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to find the video of Joe Biden saying this, and then I'm going to come back to it. So let me just pause it because I got to find it. All right, guys, I found the video. Now just listen to this. Now this is a screen recording of TikTok because they wouldn't let me download the video, so I just took a screen recording of the TikTok video. Listen to this, and I'll break it down on what it all means. Hopefully, hold on.
The same stable geniuses said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Whoa. By the way, the same stable geniuses said the biggest problem we had in the
Okay, so Joe Biden, this is how you're going to know that I'm tapped in. So Joe Biden said that the biggest complaint that Jesus had was they didn't have enough airports during the Revolutionary War. So let's break that down. Listen, what I'm about to say right now, y'all don't have to believe it. I did make a video. Y'all got to go check this video out that I made. It's like, a couple years old. It's called Old Technology. Let me explain that video real fast. Basically, they had technology in the 1800s that is pretty much the same stuff that you see now, just like better looking. Like they had electric scooters, they had escalators, they had airplanes and flying objects and different stuff like that. It's just that they had that particular stuff hidden from the public's knowledge for a long time and put it on secret locations of the planet, underground bunkers, bases, different islands, and they built a utopia that the rich and famous and the elite were able to go to, while people over here in America or in other parts of the world were just riding, horseback and wearing flip-flops. So Joe Biden said that 1776, that Jesus said that there wasn't enough airplanes during the Revolutionary War, which is like 3 different timelines if you're not tapped in. But we all know, as Hebrew Israelites, that Jesus was the name of another person. It was the name of a Roman. He's not talking about the Son of God. He's talking about, let me pretty much break it down. If you follow my videos, America's Egypt and Israel, I'm saying that the Romans were over here in America late 1600s, early 1700s. And they had different leaders and different governors and different things like that, and they had different names. Now, at one point, they had a governor or a leader, maybe, what do you call him? Emperor named Jesus. And the emperor wanted everybody to worship him, so he painted a picture of his white self. See, people say it's Caesar Borgia's son or some emperor's son or something like that. They say it's a painting of Caesar Borgia. The truth is that it's just a painting of a person that was named Jesus, who was part of the Roman Empire, and they got everybody to worship. Now, in this particular time period, the Romans was over here in the Americas during the Revolutionary War. They was fighting the British Empire that was down there in the South, that was whipping and beating Hebrew Israelites. And one of the emperors that was running that, they say that the Republicans was faced on pretty much the Americans versus the British Empire, but really it was the Republicans versus the Democrats. But back then they didn't call themselves Republicans and Democrats. The Romans changed their names. The occupying Romans changed that particular group. Only that group changed their name to Americans. So later on in history, we wouldn't be able to detect what was going on or see it. But somebody like me would break it down for you. So the Roman Empire fought as Americans. And then the British Empire kept their bases. They just kept calling themselves the British Empire. And one of those Roman emperors' name was Jesus, and he wanted everybody to worship him, so he had a painting of himself. Everybody worshiped the painting. Everybody worshiped him, his image, and everybody took on that name and worshiped his name. But later on, you have to understand that because we're so lost as a people, when we call on the name of Jesus, I know that God gave us grace because we do that. God gave us grace because what is his real name? Everybody has so many different names for the Messiah that which one is the right one. So around that particular time period, they did have airplanes in the 1700s. It's just that they took those airplanes and then they put them away on different islands so we wouldn't be able to see them for a couple hundred years later. And then they can rewrite history. Every time they do a great reset, they pretty much wipe all the old evidence away and they start brand new. So, Revolutionary War, there was a guy named Jesus. He's not talking about the Son of God. He's talking about a different Jesus. And then he's also talking about there was airplanes or whatever. And then that's just really what the truth is. So we're going to move on. We'll just leave it at that. So, witches, warlocks, people in Hollywood, they really be into satanic sacrifice. They really do be drinking blood. They really do be part of the Freemasonic lodges. They really be part of the CIA, the FBI, the police departments, the gang stalking programs. Oh yeah, if you're in a gang stalking program, they'll target you and try to make you feel like you've been, like you just can't, listen, some people are not strong as other people. You know, you can put somebody in a cage and they'll be perfectly fine. They'll be cool with it. You put another person in the cage and they will lose their mind. So everybody's different. You know, people be getting gang stalked is supposed to, you know, drive you crazy or whatever, but how can you be driven crazy if you are crazy? But the thing is that the witches and warlocks are the hiring, or the FBI is hiring witches and warlocks. The police department is hiring witches and warlocks. The military is hiring witches and warlocks. Hollywood only accept witches and warlocks. They come and pay you a visit. They definitely come and pay you a visit and make sure that you are compliant, so they can manipulate you into taking that RFID chip, mark of the beast, getting all these different needles in your arm, and then politicians and witches and warlocks, it's all a big role, all a big script, and we have to awaken. This is like the Christians, the people that follow the Bible, the people that worship Christ as their Lord and Savior. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, but we're all in the same, we're all connected. Like anybody who follows Christ, I'm with you. You don't have to believe that negroes are Hebrew Israelites. As long as you believe in Christ and you really are doing the work, like, we are going to stick together. But witches and warlocks have always been after the people who follow Christ. It was always a thing. Now, the Bible says that don't suffer a witch to live. And I follow the Bible, so y'all better leave me the hell alone. I'm telling you that much. And so witchcraft in the book of Micah, there's going to be cut off. And then, so a lot of witches and warlocks, when they go to try to do their little practices, they're going to wake up one day and ain't going to have no witch power. And that's just what it is. But that's the end of my video. I just wanted to, run past a couple videos real fast and let you guys know what time it was with Hollywood and these secret societies and all that. So thanks for listening. God bless.